time. Joining us now is an actual historian and a talk show host who used to fill in for me, has his own show on WRKO, and a wonderful man, Jeff Kuhner. Welcome to the Savage Nation.
Michael, it's great to be with you, and a heartfelt congratulations on your anniversary, my friend.
Thank you very much. It's a big deal. 20 years at anything is a big deal, isn't it? Jeff, you're a historian. I don't know where you stand on this issue. I've been very vocal about my opinion on it. I'm shocked today by Obama's incomprehensibly idiotic, lengthy speech today. Did you hear it?
Yes, I did.
Can you believe he'd bring in issues like immigration, gays and lesbians' rights at a time like this?
It was a reckless speech. It was a speech by a one-world globalist. It was a speech that I believe shows a president who is like a drunken Roman emperor, who is disconnected from reality. Michael, what business is it of the United States? Which flag flies over Crimea?
I didn't know where you stand. I feel the same exact way. First of all, you know historically, Crimea was part of Russia going back 200 years. Isn't that correct?
That's right. It's been historically a part of Russia. It has a special resonance in the Russian historical imagination. I can tell you this, Michael, even the opponents of Putin in Russia, even so-called reformers, say that Vladimir Putin is now being referred to as Vladimir the Great because of his decision to reincorporate Crimea into Russia. This is a very popular move in Russia. Putin is now at a high, maybe he's got highest approval ratings ever. The Russians back him. The Ukrainians, to me, like cowards, gave up Crimea without even firing a shot. They brought a lot of this upon themselves. You had George Soros, you had the European Union meddling in Ukraine's internal affairs, driving these nationalists to overthrow the government in Kiev, and now you have a deeply divided country, and many of them say we stand with Russia. Now, Michael, it doesn't really matter whether you sympathize with Ukraine or you don't sympathize with Ukraine. To me, from an American point of view, we have no national interests. There are no vital economic interests, no vital strategic interests. And this lunatic in the White House is sending in 300 soldiers to Poland. He is sending F-16 fighters to the Baltic states. There's a huge Russian population in Latvia and Estonia, which are part of NATO. We may go to World War III over eastern Ukraine or over Estonia.
And Jeff, I agree with you, but I want you to listen to clip 5. It's very short, and listen to this rewriting of history by Obama in clip 5. Neil, please play it for everyone to hear.
There can be no going back. It's not America that filled the Maidan with protesters. It was Ukrainians. No foreign forces compelled the citizens of Tunis and Tripoli to rise up. They did so on their own.
That's a complete lie, is it not, Kuhner, Jeff?
It's a complete lie.
Right. In other words, the CIA was in there, according to all reports that everyone who has a brain has read. McCain went over there and stirred up the masses during December when Putin could do nothing because the world was watching the Olympics, and it was foreign forces, specifically America, that stirred up the protesters and brought down a duly elected government.
You had John McCain supporting the protesters. You had Victoria Nuland overheard, intercepted by the Russians, already picking which opposition leaders we wanted in power before the government even fell. So we were meddling in Ukraine's internal affairs. Now, when Russia intervenes in Ukrainians' internal affairs, then suddenly it's a bad thing. When we do it, it's a good thing. Neil, forgive me.
But did you hear the leak yesterday from the Ukraine's Tymoshenko, where she said wipe out the Russians with a huge ethnic slur against Russian people in Ukraine? You heard this?
I do know that there are a lot of nationalists who are anti-Russian. They're anti-Semitic.
But Tymoshenko, who is Jewish, by the way, this is the woman with the blonde hair who had been in jail, who they released from jail. She's heard in saying during a break on a Russian TV broadcast, heard urging the, quote, wiping out of Russians over Moscow's seizure of Crimea. Now, Tymoshenko was released from jail only last month, confirmed the